Super Mario Brothers exit survey. No, that's the death sounder, right? We don't want to talk about that. We're all positive here.
That should have been 1993's sounder.
But Nick, why don't you hit us with the synopsis for this animated version?
The story of the Super Mario Brothers on their journey through the Mushroom Kingdom.
Simple.
It doesn't get much simpler.
I'm not even sure if you really need a synopsis or a story, as we may find out later. But yeah, and nevertheless, the cast and crew here. This was directed by Aaron Horvath, Michael Jelinek, and Pierre Ledoc. Ah, Jesus, Nick. This is written by Matthew Fogel, starring Chris Pratt as Mario, Anya Taylor-Joy as Princess Peach, Charlie Day as Luigi, Jack Black as Bowser, Keegan-Michael Key as Toad, Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong, Fred Armisen as Cranky Kong, Juliet Jelinek, I believe that's the daughter of one of the directors there, Michael, playing Luma Lee. We'll talk about Luma Lee a little bit there.
Oh boy.
Sebastian Maniscalco as Spike. I thought he was a nice addition in the real world of the Super Mario universe. Kevin Michael Richards as Kamek, and Carrie Payton, not to be confused with the glove, played the Penguin King.
Oh yeah, that's he's Ezekiel, I believe, in Walking Dead. For those who watch that show, I believe I have that right.
Carrie Payton.
Yeah, because Carrie, because
not to be confused with the Seattle Supersonic Ray.
Right, of course not Gary Payton. No. Yeah, Carrie Payton. I was right. Yes, okay, there we go. Anyways, now that we've gotten past that, we'll be talking to Sean Kemp shortly after this too. Right?
We will, yes.
As for the box office and performance and everything like that, Holden, $377.2 million worldwide, including $204.6 million domestically. And that $377.2 million breaks Frozen 2's record for highest grossing worldwide opening weekend for an animated movie. We don't have the numbers in front of us, Wes, but I don't know that they beat the original Mario Brothers movie. But it seems like it was.
That's a good guess. I think we can bet on that.
Okay. God, wasn't it like 20 million or something like that?
Yeah, it was about
a 40 million budget.
I think the movie was like 48 million to make. Yeah.
Brutal. Anyways, but when it comes to the critics, this has a 7.4 out of 10 on IMDb and a 56-97 split on Rotten Tomatoes, a 4.7 out of 5 on Google reviews, with 96% of Google users liking this movie. Now, Wes, it's time for our scores and tweet length reviews. Why don't you get us started?
Yeah, this is pretty easy. There's not much to digest here, and I'm okay with that. Give this a 91 out of 100. This is a kids movie that parents or adults can enjoy, except the adult humor is replaced with nostalgic Easter eggs. You know, sometimes you get with these like Pixar movies, they kind of slide in the adult jokes, but there's not even so much of that. It's just great Easter eggs from the last 50 years. This was a fun time. There's not much else to be said.
I think that's honestly very well put. I gave it a slightly lower score, 88 out of 100. Well-paced, great for all ages. A fun movie that feels like it'll be extremely rewatchable over the years. And then to move away from the tweet length review, the only thing I think the difference between you and me is probably my score. I took a little bit more off for the ending, which we will talk about a little bit later on. So I don't want to jump the gun. Why don't we get our survey started, though?
Yeah, let's jump down the pipe, shall we? Oh, there we go. Nick.
Brought their A game today.
What did you think of the voiceover work?
I thought it was really good. I mean, I don't really think about that quite as much as like a Goo would necessarily.
Sure.
And then I know you notice it a little bit more than I do.
But this was a big talking point, at least when the early stages of this movie being announced too.
That's true. The whole thing with Mario, because there was a whole bunch of stuff with the accent and how they were approaching it and all these different things. I thought that they handled it pretty well. Like from just, given how much controversy there was, it seemed like they did a good job of paying respect to what Mario used to be, but then also making it its own thing.
Well, yeah, and with all of that hoopla surrounding, like, oh, is Chris Pratt really Italian? You should have more Italian heritage, all that sort of thing around that. When they open it with the commercial of them being like, overly Italian, exaggerated accents. I'm like, no way they're gonna do this the whole movie there. And then I thought that was like a nice little semi-troll little nod to the audience there. Which I did like, but otherwise, I thought all the voice work was great. I mean, I thought Jack Black was a real star in this. Fred Armisen's like a sneaky 6th man of the year, like heat check guy off the bench and everything he does. And Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong was awesome in this too.
Yeah.
So I thought they were all great. And Keegan Michael Key as Toad.
Yeah,
so I thought I didn't know that was him though. He was the one role that kind of had me guessing like who's doing that voice the whole time.
So I think more than I think Pratt kind of like we knew it was him going in, but I'm like there are only a few moments where I'm like that's Chris Pratt's voice. By and large, he did a really good job, and Keegan Michael Key was the other one, 100%. Keegan Michael Key was like. I'm like trying to hear. I knew I had remembered like once I saw him, like wait, who's Toad again? It's like oh wait, it's Keegan Michael Key. I'm like, all right, let's try and dig. And I feel like there might have been a moment or two where it was a little more obvious, but it was definitely hard. Those two guys did a great job, and honestly, Jack Black at some point it became like painfully obvious in the best of ways that it was his voice. But at first I didn't get that. Maybe it's just me, but it felt like he tried to do like a garbled voice that fit the character better, but then he just went full Jack Black in the film.
Oh yeah. I was just gonna say that we get all of Jack Black in Bowser here, and it's great. And I think that rolls right into our next question here. Who was your favorite character?
It was Bowser. I mean, there's no. I don't think like there are other. Like, I don't know outside of him though. Like who I'd say is my second favorite character. I think just anybody but Luigi was like he's the only character I was like. Eh.
Luigi was tough, and maybe just because it was how wimpy they made him. And this is kind of getting into unanswerable questions yet, but you don't really like it's for kids, so they have a child mentality, but they have full grown mustaches, so and jobs, you know what I mean? So it's like how old are they really, and like what it's obviously made for kids, so they're approaching it through the mind of a child in some ways too. So it's like that's like if you're going to be splitting hairs, that's where you could kind of dock some points off for it, but Luigi was a little wimpy, little too wimpy there. Needed more of a spine.
Yeah, I mean, and it fits for like Charlie Day's character, who just like what he tends to portray. Like he's always afraid of what the hell's going on, and so it fits here. But when we talk about voice acting too, that's someone who like more obvious than anybody probably that it was like that's Charlie Day's voice.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Pretty distinctible voice there. Yeah. Bowser was great. I loved all of the Kongs too. I thought all of the Kongs, Cranky Kong, Donkey Kong, and really everything about like the DK country. I was a big fan of the DK country there.
Yeah. There was some cool stuff. And actually that kind of does bring us to, not to jump ahead, but to our next question.
No, I think we're good. Is there anything else that you wanted to say? Because like, I thought Princess Peach was great. She gets a ton of screen time in there.
Yeah.
Although it did kind of feel like, and I get it because like Mario's like a fish out of water, so he needs like someone to kind of be shown the way here.
Yeah.
But, I would have liked a little bit more of Mario there. Just a little bit more when they're doing things together.
I think that like looking.
But it doesn't really matter.
No. I hear what you're saying, but I don't think I was thinking about this when I watched it. But in the past, I've definitely asked, like, okay, is Mario like set in this world? Is he from Earth? Like, I never fully know. Like, I've played like Super Mario 64 and some of the other games, but just I don't know. I don't know that lore like I do other stuff. So where they went and did this, it made sense. Like, okay, I want to see him learn some stuff. So just to the end of what you're saying, like it's like having her show him the ropes. It made sense. It's like Mario doesn't just jump in and be like kick ass. Like we need a little bit of a build up. So I did that.
Yeah. He needs to get used to eating all the mushrooms. That takes some time. It takes a tolerance to build up.
That was such a great little like thing I've never heard of with Mario. I don't know if it was just for the movie, but it was a really nice touch.
Oh yeah. Good stuff there. Good stuff. Favorite Easter eggs or nods to the video game at any point there? I mean, it's the whole movie. I mean, the whole movie is just a love letter.
Yeah. So I think one like little Easter egg that's really a deep cut that I wasn't certain on, but just double checked when we were talking about the voiceover stuff. The Charles Martinet, who is like who did the voice of Mario and Luigi in video games, is like has multiple cameos in this movie. And I didn't double check this, but I'm pretty sure after the commercial that you brought up, Wes, there was that one guy who was like playing an old school game. I'm pretty sure That
Who
was
just kept
his one.
saying "Wahoo!" He was in like the original like Nintendo Mario gear, right? He had like the
Yeah.
blue overalls, but it was like a different blue. I know what
Yeah.
you're saying.
And
Yeah.
I think that was this actor because I'm like, that
Okay.
sounds just
I'm
like
on
a
board with
Mario.
that.
Yeah. So I love that. But to what you were saying about Donkey Kong Country and everything, the Donkey Kong rap, like I remember hearing that as a kid, like that was
Mhm.
so bad, but it worked so well here. Diddy Kong getting an appearance and a shout out was
Yeah.
great too. Of course, we know that's one of the hot topics of the DSG that apparently Diddy Kong racing is better than Mario Kart racing.
Hey,
But
I've never played the game. Couldn't tell you, you know?
you ever played Diddy Kong racing?
No, no, no. I was strictly a Mario Kart guy.
That's fair. I mean, it was fine. A lot of random characters in that one. Some that
Mhm.
grew later. But anyways, was it first seeing how they paid respect to like the original Mario Brothers game with like when they were like trying to get to their first job.
Yeah, that's on my most rewatchable scene because I love that
Mm.
there because that's awesome. That's whole side scrolling moment there of them going through, climbing up over the obstacles, climbing up on the with the fire escape alleys and everything,
Yeah.
trying to get to their job. Very very cool use of it. I love that. That was good stuff.
So fluid too with the action of that. But just to wrap mine up so you can get going on it. The stained glass mirror for Peach's castle was like that's from Mario 64 was perfect.
Beautiful stuff. Yeah, great nod there. I'm partial to the flying raccoon suit from Super Mario Brothers
Mm,
3.
mm.
Loved that there. So, but also the Miami Vice Kong throwing the banana peel as the valet escort sort of guy. And then again, you just kind of get
Yeah.
that whole the car glider introduction in there. You have
Yeah.
a quick nod to Baby Mario, Baby Luigi when they were both kids. So I
That's
thought that
right.
was kind of cool. A little quick nod, and then you mentioned this, but the original Mario in his old school overalls playing. So that we
Yeah.
both had that there, just on different things. So I loved all. I mean, again, this was just like a movie that brought a smile to your face to whatever aspect of Mario that you played growing up.
Yeah, they did.
There's
Like,
no
it's
stone left unturned.
such a good job of this. You're right. Like I didn't think about it from the angle when you said before in your tweet length review, like how instead of all the jokes that like like with Shrek, right? There'll be a lot of adult jokes that are in there for
Mhm.
adults. We don't get that here, but we get a lot of stuff that we will appreciate that kids will just enjoy from because it's fun to see.
Because it doesn't have to, it has a 50-year head start on any other like IP like Shrek or Frozen or anything like that. So it can rely on this, like, again, strong backbone of like, let's just go with what we know. Like, why
Yeah.
mess with anything else?
They did a great job with that, and they have so much potential. But moving on.
Yes, most rewatchable scene. We both have this on here. Rainbow Road. The
Yeah.
Rainbow Road, as they're trying to get to Bowser's castle. Amazing stuff there, including the jump. You get the jump there into the other track.
Yeah.
So, loved all that.
That was and that I should have probably mentioned that in the Easter eggs too, because like that jump I remember in college because
Mhm.
we played Nintendo a ton on the road and we would play Smash and we would play Kart a ton
Yep.
in Mario Party.
Mhm.
But that jump, I actually didn't know. I don't think I ever knew that jump until college, and I very rarely tried it. But every the guys I played with all
It's
the time,
risky, it's risky. But sometimes if you're in last place, that you got nothing
yep,
to lose. Maybe you get
yep,
yourself a bullet bill. Who
yep.
knows?
Oh, another Easter egg too. The way they use the blue shell.
Yes, yes,
Oh,
yeah. The blue shell sacrificing itself. Very, very cool.
oh, that was awesome. That was
Oh,
so good.
that's great stuff.
Yeah.
What else we got here for most rewatchable scene? We mentioned the Mario Luigi side scrolling to get to their
Mhm.
first job. Arriving to Jungle Kingdom with the Miami Vice Kong. I just love that whole setting, and then just driving through and all the hustle and bustle of it. The Super Mario or Super Smash Brothers Mario versus Donkey Kong in the
Yeah.
arena. Very cool, and then just all of the bravado of Donkey Kong of being like a bro.
Yeah.
Very very down for that. Very here for that.
They did a great job with it. I mean, there's so many scenes in this that's like you could just watch the clips. Like that's why this is going to be so
Mhm.
rewatchable because, like you said, like the plot, it's fine. Like there's some stuff that doesn't work great necessarily, but there's so much fun stuff. And then to add on to what you're talking about with Donkey Kong, the team up that him and Mario have at the end, like
Yeah.
all of that, and then Peach is doing her whole like Ice Queen kind of thing. Like that's some fun action there. And then the training montage with Peach and Mario, specifically
Yes.
Mario, it's like. I'm not always as big on training montage. I know you always seem to like them.
Give them to me. Yeah.
That one was I really love what they did with that one.
Yeah, I'm with you. I like it too. And again, it's just a nod. It's just a reminder. It was just nice to be like, oh, give me the member berries. Let them wash over me
Hmm.
in a warm bath. You know, like
Yeah.
I'm here for it. Um, what aged the best from this movie outside of the movie?
I mean, I think that we're gonna see more from this Nintendo like universe.
I think you're right,
I
Nick. I
think
think you're
that's
right.
what's gonna age the best from this period.
I just love their approach to the movie. We touched on this a little bit already, but again, just like it's just simple. Like you might say there's issues with the story. I don't really care.
Yeah.
Let the kids go and have fun with it. That's what it's there for. It's there to entertain them. And if I can go there with my kid or by myself as I did, which is very weird going on an opening night with a kids movie. Don't
Mm.
feel great about that all the time. But anyway,
Yeah.
yeah. So we're doing that, and you know, it works for everybody. I can go and enjoy the movie. Kids can go and enjoy the movie. It's all
Yeah.
good there, you know.
It's
Um,
wild how like this is. I know like Frozen and there have been some other animated movies over the years, but I just remember when we were kids, we had like a ton of animated movies that did really well. And maybe it's just because like I know you're obviously about to have a kid, but we just haven't had kids, haven't dealt with that. It's just surprising. Like this is like such a huge hit. Like it's just I'm blown away by it.
yeah, and again, I haven't really paid much attention to it. I think Goo, the other one of the fathers in the DSG here, says stuff does great on video on demand. This movie's gonna leave theaters by mid-May, which I
Mm,
think is kind of early. Maybe that's on average. I don't know, but
mm,
those type of things to be able to like buy it and then just be able to replay it for the kids whenever they want to put it on. Those
mm.
a show or movie like Frozen is just going to get like drummed into your head. You're going to know all the lines because the kids watch it all the time.
Right.
It's going to be like one of those movies. So I get the that like resale value on the secondary market sort of thing.
Yeah, and the other thing too, just like to add on to that, when I went to the theater, I saw it on Saturday, and I've gone. We have to do stuff for you and I have to watch movies on opening weekends, and like I've gone to different theaters in the Nashville area, but like it's not always packed on those
Mm-hmm.
opening weekends, even on Saturdays. And I went for like a 4 o'clock, so it's kind of a matinee thing. It
Sure.
was packed, and I talked to the guy behind the counter. I was like, "You guys are bumping right now." He's like, "It's never like this."
Yeah.
So says a lot.
Oh yeah, when I went on a Friday night, there was 4 theaters showing it. So on like staggered times, there was a three like a big on the big screen. There was like a real 3D experience, and then like a second tiered theater that it was showing, and then all of the standard theaters had like 6:30, 7:30. It was in every maybe like 4 or 5 of the theaters of a 13 theater cinema. So
Mm.
it was everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, and I think this was talked about in our group chat, but like having it be an hour and a half movie makes it so
Mm.
much easier to have so many more showings of it too.
In and out like a fiddler's elbow. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Mwah. We mentioned what else will age the best here. We mentioned Jungle Kingdom, all the Easter eggs. How about Bowser being a lover boy? We talked about how great Bowser is, but I mean, that's the Jack Black effect there with the
Yeah.
first song about Peach. I think it was just Peaches in general. That really did me in.
Yeah.
And seeing that softer side at first, I kind of rolled my eyes at it, but then like as he leaned into it and as the movie rolled on, I was like, all right, this is great.
Yeah, no one plays like goofy, eccentric as well as Jack Black does. It's so funny.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. There. What do you think will age the worst
So
from this
what
movie?
to go back to what we were talking about with the plot being issues, I don't
Mhm.
know, like it's just like it's basic and that's fine. Like that we don't need anything crazy in here because
Yeah.
you've put like explained that very well. My issue where like I think I took off 3 points why I didn't have a 91 like you is Bowser's world like somehow popping up in the real world at the end of it. It just felt very much out of nowhere for me, and it was kind of clunky in the way they did it. So that's all. Like, and yeah, is 3 points a lot to take off for that? Yeah, but still, it was just a little odd. But that's not gonna ruin that doesn't ruin the movie for me or anything. It's just a few points off. So that's the only thing that I think is gonna really age poorly.
Now, do they get points because unlike the live action version, when the Bowser's world is converging with the real world, they don't show a depiction of the World Trade Center towers falling?
That is an extra bonus. I forgot.
They
Yes.
opted not to do that, so that's always a good thing, you know.
It's big of them. Yes, it's big of them.
Yeah. So there are the points for that. What lost? What will age the worst for me? I mean, yeah, the story. If you're gonna be splitting hairs over it, like the story is a crap story. But again, it's not what we're here for. I'm not looking for top-notch cinema here. You know, just give me everything, all the member berries.
Mm-hmm.
But what I will say, which did kind of crawl up my spine and down my ass, or wherever else you want to put it, is this anti-golden retriever rhetoric that's going on in the early portion of this movie when Mario and Luigi are on their first job and they're going to Brooklyn. Very nice home overlooking the World Trade Center. They showed it in there and that was fine, right? So that was a great job by them. But it's overlooking Manhattan. And they're cleaning out or they're fixing the pipes, and there's this dog, Francis, I believe is the dog's name. Great looking golden retriever who is just nonstop up Luigi's ass and causing a problem left and right. I don't think they realize how good, these good boys are.
Yeah, well, that was
America's dog, Nick.
Oh, is it?
No, I'm not really sure, but it probably is. The lab,
there's got to be a national
retriever,
dog, right?
Yeah.
We got a national bird, right?
Yeah, well, let's see. Well, you say your point here. Let me see. Look up most popular dogs in America.
No, that whole bit at the beginning, like it was a little bit cringy, like just seeing how everything kind of like came undone. But that's just me, like having like that secondhand embarrassment that I deal with. To that end though, where we talk about like the story wasn't like necessarily the best. They bounced around so much on everything that there wasn't. I don't know that there was a real lull in this entire movie.
No, not a whole lot of fat in this movie at all. And just to put a bow on what we said, French Bulldogs is the most popular breed, followed by Labrador Retrievers, followed by Golden Retrievers. So, yeah.
French Bulldogs.
Would you take? Yeah, they've come up pretty popular over the years. They're very shitty dogs. They look like pugs with pointy ears. They have horrible respiratory systems. They die early. It's very sad. They're not built to survive in this world. They've just been like inbreeded down so much.
I will say, like, of the dogs that I always thought, if I ever thought I was going to get a dog, personally, if it was just my call, Labrador Retriever would be my pick.
It's the American dog. Yeah, you got to do it. It's the family dog. You know, you don't have to worry about anything. They're great with kids, great with neighbors, great temperament. Yeah.
Instead, I prefer a cat, which is great with nobody.
Well, yeah, you have to grow with it. You start with a cat, and that's very independent, and then you go to a dog, which is a little bit more dependent, and then you work your way up to a real life human being.
I don't. Now you're just talking crazy. What?
Yeah, now I'm just pushing you right down the door here.
What is this? Let's see. How about you see how it goes first, and then I'll take notes.
Yeah, there we go. How about that? Okay, yeah. I'll let you know. I'll write a whole memoir for you.
Thank you.
But the only thing other than the anti-golden retriever rhetoric that I did not like was Lumily, which I think was supposed to be this like comedic relief in the movie. This guy kind of like steal the show, like maybe like the Shrek donkey sort of thing. But it did not work for me at all. In fact, I found it very like disturbing.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I liked her, because she was disturbing. But
your whole target audience is for children, and they're going to be saying things like, what else? What else do I have here? Give me the sweet relief of death in like a nice cheery voice. Like, how children just like, we've talked about this, like maybe they have reincarnations of a previous life. Like we've done podcast episodes on that, or they've are more susceptible to seeing ghosts and that sort of thing. And they say like these really creepy things that you don't have like any idea where they get it from. Like imagine a kid just walking up to you and says, "I can't wait for the sweet relief of death." Like that's going to freak you out.
This is true.
More meat for the grinder.
That's a fair point.
And like the ending of it, right before the end credits roll, I'm like seeing this, and it's like it's almost like a lullaby. It's kind of like just like lulling you into like a hypnosis of this like creepy, I don't know, like suicidal rhetoric.
She's a little terrifying. There's no questioning that.
And the director had his daughter do it.
That's amazing.
That's messed up, man. I'm not here for that. I'm here for a lot of things in this movie. Not here for that. I'm leaving.
I kind of liked it, but I also don't worry about kids saying crazy shit.
It's just, yeah, it's weird. You know what I mean? But I don't know. What do I know?
When you put it through that lens, I do hear you.
Are there any unanswerable questions?
Well, I don't know. Well, you have one, which I think is a good one.
Well, yeah, how old are Mario and Luigi? That was my big question here, because we see them, again, they're small in stature as it is, in comparison to Spike, his former boss, right, and former employer. Then he goes home to his family, Italian family there, nice Italian dinner. And they play video games on his bed when he gets angry, but he's got a full-blown mustache and overalls, and he's running his own business. So, it's just kind of confusing. So that was my one big question. But then I also thought to myself that, like, there's plenty of Italians with full-time jobs who live at home with their parents too. So that's like, not that crazy of an idea either.
No, but it is a fair question, because it's like like Mario, especially like with his shape and everything, he gives off like 35 at least, if not older.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and if you took off, I know they shouldn't have gave him a full head of hair. They should have had a nice little bald spot right on the back of his head there. But that's
then
like a friar status, actually.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There you go. That was,
okay. So now this is a quick tangent here. I just thought of a great, maybe a prank for your bachelor party.
Oh boy,
you're gonna have to get a friar haircut.
Oh, no way.
How close is that to your wedding?
Close enough. And also I have to do on air work and not just here. So
but it would play over so well. It would play over so well, Nick. No, it would play. It would play on TV.
You want to do matching haircuts?
Well, if that's what it takes, if the whole group has to do it, then we'll just be a group of Padres,
Oh, if the entire group did it, that would be different.
I'm just saying, like you want Doc, brought something to the table of the DK over under prop bets for who's going to be first to pass out, all that stuff. I just want to up it one notch.
Don't give him too much credit. He made it. He made the sheet. I came up with the idea.
Okay, well, I just want to take that up one notch. One more step that we all get friar haircuts.
Okay, well. You're scaring the shit out of me now. Oh, God. I'm gonna move over to the question that I had. It's not an unanswerable
question. Do you
think?
I don't know any of your friends other than the group chat really. So do you think if I posed that to the group, would they A, be down for it, or B, force you to do it after a few drinks?
No one would force.
Are they that good of a friends? Okay.
No, no one forced me to do it. But like, there's one bunch of them would say no way. No, you get a mixed response, I think, but in a good way.
I'm going to pose it to the group chat, and then we'll just let the people decide.
There you go. We'll leave it up to the people. You can tell them that too. I'm not listening to anything anybody says, but you can tell them that I've left it up to them.
Yeah, it'll be a good running gag.
Oh God. Anyways, where were we? Oh, so I do have one question coming out of this movie. I don't think it's unanswerable. Maybe at this time it is, but does this launch the Nintendo Cinematic Universe? Which I did tweet something out that a graphic someone had created had Zelda, Metroid, Star Fox, Kirby, maybe a Donkey Kong movie, maybe another Mario. I mean, they're already talking about like who could play Wario, who could play Waluigi, which I was thinking about that towards the end of the movie. They're not here. They seem like the great next villain, So there's an infinite potential with Mario Brothers in this whole universe.
I am here for all of that. I think that would be very cool stuff. And again, this is just built kind of like the MCU here, right? You start off with one character. They all get their own solo movies leading up to a Super Smash Brothers crossover event.
There you go. Yeah.
Oh man, how awesome would that be?
Yeah, and I feel like too, you can keep this so much simpler too. Like this is clearly for kids thing, where Marvel was like more of a mixed thing. As much as we were all enjoying the Super Mario Brothers stuff and would watch all these other movies, you don't need to go and get too crazy complex, and like you can have them be their own universes, then just make it a multiverse thing. DK's in the same universe as Mario, whatever. But even then, they're kind of not already, right? Because one's on Earth, one's in Peach's place. And then Super Smash Brothers, you can make it like, I don't know, like a Mortal Kombat thing. Like they're all transported here, and like they have to have this tournament or whatever.
Yeah, or they all got to lead, or maybe there's some sort of. I mean, we've been hearing rumors and waiting, hoping. Maybe for the day that we get the DC versus Marvel crossover event. But you could very easily do at this point in time, after a few movies, a Nintendo Sonic the Hedgehog crossover event, which would be cool too. So I think the possibilities of making this a cash cow are endless.
But I just really hope that if they do it, because I'm agreeing with you on all this, but just keep it simple. Like, we don't need to go and create this crazy web of stuff like Marvel did. Like, that's what Marvel did.
Yeah, keep it simple. Yeah.
Yep, keep it simple, stupid. All right.
But I would be here for, again, like if they were to go in depth on something like Star Fox, Metroid, or Zelda, those would be the ones I would be good. Like, and like Donkey Kong, Kirby, like like.
Yeah,
I can go easier, on. Could be more lighthearted, but like
sure.
A deeper intrigue into the Legend of Zelda would be pretty awesome.
100%. And when it comes to like the story itself, do what you want to do. Like in the individual, just keep it grounded. Don't make this all this where we always talk about connective tissue with Marvel and that being its strength. I don't need that with a Mario universe. Like,
right.
You can make it really simple. I can accept a lot of nonsense, like when it comes to connecting it together.
I'm with you on that. Okay, who had this is for the big awards now? Who had the best performance by a side character?
I think we're in agreement on a few of them. I mean, it's really like like does Donkey Kong count as a side character?
Yeah, he gets a little too close. I do love everything about him, though. I mean, the bravado was so great. It was played perfectly. By Seth Rogen, who's kind of a dink. He's kind of a nerd, but he played the bro very good.
I think it's gotta go to like DK just because like he's got to be considered a side character because you have Bowser, Luigi, Peach, and Mario all ahead of him. That's 4 characters. I mean, at some point, he's not a bit character, but he's a side character. But other than him, it's Toad. I think
he's not introduced till halfway through the movie too. Right?
Yeah, so I think my vote goes to DK. I didn't think that through originally, but like. Excuse me. Yeah, he's definitely a side character. But then
love Cranky Kong. He's definitely. I mean, he's certainly going to be a side character there. Luma Lee is definitely not getting my vote. We love Toad, but he's introduced again pretty early on and is the sidekick kind of throughout there. But he does a great job. How about the Mario family though? Love the Mario family. Love the dinner setting when they sit down there and just all the different dynamics and personalities of everyone there. It's good stuff.
That dad stunk though.
The dad did stink. The dad did stink.
It's just like what do you think, Dad? And it's just like basically you're an idiot. Like thanks.
Plumbing's a good gig.
Yeah, I come from a family of plumbers. I don't know how far back, but I know my great-grandfather had his own plumbing business in Fall River.
Oh, really? Nice for you. Good for you. All right.
Falling pretty far from that plumber to sports writer,
Well, it's all evolves.
Yep.
You're still working with your hands.
I'm going to have to become a plumber if ChatGPT takes over the world.
No, it's a tool. You use it as a tool. Everyone thought when like you could make computer generated music that the music industry was going to be over forever, and all you got was EDM. That was it. And how long did that last for?
That's a funny way to look at it. It's also a fair point. It is a fair point.
Yeah. No, but I get it too because it's all coming after us. Like my wife is like, writing, copywriting, like, emails and stuff like that now using ChatGPT, and she's like, "This is the easiest thing ever." South Park had a great episode of it, but they, do everything great.
Yeah, I haven't watched South Park in a while though. It's been since the Fish Sticks with Kanye West.
Oh, that's always a good one to go back to.
Yeah, it's been a long while.
Carlos Mencia. Get the joke, man. Just get it. It's fish sticks.
Yeah.
Please, you have to get it, man. Okay. So the Mario family there, get off track. They get a nice honorable mention. But okay, we'll go with Cranky Kong, Donkey Kong, the whole Kong family.
The Kongs. That sounds great to me.
The Kongs. Yep. Yeah, I like it. Did anyone lose the movie?
Yeah, critics.
Yes, I would say snooty critics. Again, we talk about the disparity on Rotten Tomatoes. I think it was like a 57-97, something along those lines, split. And like we talked about, what are you looking for when you go into this movie? Like this is clearly for kids. Let's have a good time with it.
Yeah, it's like in the end, they're taking the biggest L out of all this. There's no two ways about it, despite what I'm about to say. I do understand why they give it such bad scores, but this is again like when certain movies, it doesn't matter what critics have to say. It matters what the audience has to say, because it is like there are just some movies that they're supposed to be a fun time. They're not supposed to be this crazy, impressive story or this display of different parts of cinema that's separated from other other mediums and stuff like that. And even then, like this does do certain things that you can't do in other mediums. So I get why they do it, but it's still an L for them regardless.
Yeah, and it's like we talk about this all the time. Like when we talk about like, oh, you like this movie because you rated it the same as Thor 4, and so that
Mm,
means you like Thor 4 more than this movie. Like we have those conversations before, like
right,
even when it's not like inside the MCU. And
right.
I don't think that's necessarily fair. Like if you're a critic, are you looking at this on the same scale as like The Whale or like the Banshees of Inisherin or something like that?
I
It's
always
like,
thought they
no,
were.
that's not fair.
I always thought they were like we
Yeah,
have, and that's why I said like we're not like we as much as we get critical about this stuff, like and we look at certain things like through a tight lens at times. We're not critics because otherwise we would have that same expectation every single time. How many times, like you were saying before, how many times have you said, "Well, it's not a Marvel movie"? Like I have like a different scale from an MCU, expectations. Like you used
right.
to feel that way at least.
Yeah, no,
Um,
I agree. Yeah,
and then same thing with this. Like it's a kids movie. Like I'm
yeah,
not, in what it's supposed to be. It does a great job at what it is supposed to be.
yep, absolutely. Nails it out of the park, knocks it out of the park, nails it into the ground. Damn
Wow,
it. Oh,
jeez.
that's tough. Moving on here. Who else lost the movie? Lumily. Lumily lost the movie for me. Just not
Mm,
didn't do it. Didn't hit home for me. But excuse me, winners of the movie. Who won the movie, Nick?
mm.
Everybody?
Yeah, everybody, but yeah,
Big winners.
everybody. Yeah, I think. I mean, the Nintendo. This is a huge win for them. Obviously, it's been a long time since we've seen a Mario movie. And then the studio. So it's Illumination Studios, right? That made the
Yes.
movie.
Yep.
Yeah. So they like huge win for both of them. I mean, this is even if they just say we want to make a second Mario Brothers movie and then we're just going to do more Mario movies. Great. Like you're in a great spot there to do that, and you'll make a ton of money. But if you want to make a whole shared universe or want to make their own individual things and not make it a shared universe, whatever, you have a ton of potential now.
Yeah, and I think you have the blueprint for it. Like you said, the foundation is laid, and it's simple. You don't really have to outthink yourself here. You got a
Hmm.
whole great platform here, and it's a young audience. Just
Yep.
keep this formula going here with
Yeah.
simple storyline. Get everything nice and tight, and pack
Hmm.
in with Easter eggs and references.
Yeah, actually,
We love
to
it.
that end, like where with comics, we run into so much stuff with like Marvel where they change things, like where people who've read comics for longer than Joe and I have, like they're like, oh, but this and that, and they can get really nitpicky and really frustrated with changes that have been made. If you keep it, like you said, don't overthink it, keep it to kids, like keep it, like
Hmm.
keep that be the audience, and then give us the Easter eggs, and we're gonna have a fun time if the action's good too. And the characters are close enough to what we grew up with. So I think there's like again, keep it simple, and this could be extremely successful.
All right, so I think that just about does it for our exit survey of the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Mhm.
Wait, no, shit, I wasn't supposed to do that. Take two here. And that is our review for the Super Mario Brothers exit survey movie. Damn
There
it,
we go.
we'll edit that in post here. But Nick gave it an 88, correct? And I gave it a 91. So by my math, that's about an 89 and a half, 90.
That is an
Somewhere
89 and a
around
half.
there.
89 and
Yeah.
a half.
Yeah, that's one of the better movies that we've seen on the year. If we had to
Mhm.
power rank these movies on the year that we've seen, or Creed, I would go maybe Creed 3, Ant-Man and the Wasp, no,
John Wick.
John Wick, and then this movie, and then Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
Yeah, why do I feel like there's another one that we're missing that
Cocaine
you
Bear is above Quantumania for me too.
okay, that was another one that you really like. That I knew there was another one that I
Yeah.
couldn't put my finger on it. Okay. Yeah.
So this
I
is top four, Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, I think it's going to maintain. Well, we got some other really, really good movies coming out later in the year. Obviously, Spider-Verse stuff. Like,
Yeah, this is a busy time of the year right now. Between April to early May, we got to June actually, right? With
mhm.
Spider-Verse, with Guardians, a couple other things kind of come out this time too. So, fun time to be a moviegoer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that'll do it for our exit survey. Now we'll get your tickets, grab your bags, because the train is about to leave the station.